Hey guys. So today I've got something that's really juicy for all of you and something that I think we can all relate to. So, are you someone who constantly worries about what other people think or even someone who battles with this on and off? Then if you are, then today's video is for you. I'm going to give you a few tips on how you can focus more on your own stuff and less on what other people think of you. So there's this wonderful quote by Terry Cole Whitaker that says, "What you think of me is none of my business." And I absolutely love it so much because it is so true. People's perception of you is really just that, a perception. In the same way that I really love my coffee on coconut milk, I know people who prefer theirs on dairy milk. And then you have the people who love mochas or the people who don't even like coffee, which is weird if you ask me. But you get my picture. Just because a handful of people or even masses of people don't like coconut milk coffee like I do, it doesn't degrade its value or demand for it in other circles. So in the same way, if someone doesn't like you, you're either not their flavor or there's something going on in their life that you just don't know about. So studies show that we are consistently overestimating just how much and how badly others think about us and our failings. And unfortunately, the consequence of this is that we limit ourselves, our potential, and also our joy. So the good news is, however, though, that some of us actually do recognize this issue within our lives. So I guess the question is, how do we get to stop being bothered by what other people think about us? So I'm going to share a quick story with you of my experience with this. So 5 years ago, I was diagnosed with severe depression, amongst other things. I didn't even want to leave the house out of fear of having to talk to people, and not to mention answering their questions like, "What do you do for work?" Which at that stage, I was actually unemployed. I'd actually been fired from my job, which in itself brings a whole other stigma. Well, so I thought in my mind anyway. So eventually I stopped talking to those closest to me and only really spoke to two people in my life. I lived like that for ages until I eventually started and chose to join a large fitness group. Now, initially, I kept to myself until I realised that more and more ladies were opening up about their own issues. And today, this is one of the main things that inspires and drives me in my own work. I have come to realize that most people don't spend their time judging me or even thinking about me because they're actually too busy worrying about their own insecurities and issues. And even if they do, then I have now an awareness of two really important factors. So, number one is the mirror rule. So, what you see in others is actually a direct reflection of an issue that you are having within yourself at that point in time. For example, when you judge someone else, it is usually because you are judging yourself internally, so in your mind, with something that you're not satisfied with in your own life. And number two, we all have issues. We are human beings. You cannot have the light without having the darkness. But if these 2 points don't help you, here's some more. Number one, know your own values. This is one that we can so easily forget. Having a firm understanding of what is important to you and where you want to go is so seriously important. When you keep in mind your own values and future vision, you will place less weight on other people's opinions and more on your own. So number two, stop judging yourself. If you don't want other people judging you, then you need to turn down the volume of your own inner critic. Remember that mirror rule I mentioned earlier? This is a great example of that. When we cease judging ourselves, then we start to accept our decisions, our choices, and our life, and other people's opinions become completely irrelevant. And lastly, what is the worst that can happen? So when you find yourself slipping back into old habits of thinking about what other people will think, imagine the worst thing that can happen. So when you come to this conclusion, I want you to tell someone straight away. Tell them these thoughts. So it might be someone that you feel comfortable around or someone that is close to you. And when you tell them, hear their response. I guarantee you they will reassure you that you're not alone or that it's completely irrelevant what you're thinking. And secondly, ask them if they've ever felt the same. I guarantee you they will have. So when you come to realize this, you'll realize that you're not the only one, and then you'll start to accept your issues and they will stop confining you. So at the end of the day, stepping outside of the box within your own life is guaranteed to rock the boat somewhere. And if it's not you judging yourself, you can expect that maybe family and friends won't understand, or that you'll most probably be judged by someone else. And that's okay, because you're going to be judged anyway at some point in your life. So you may as well be judged for something that you stand for rather than something that you don't. So I'm going to leave you with a quote by John Wooden, and he says, "Worry about your character and not about your reputation, because your character is who you are and your reputation is only what people think of you." So guys, I hope this helps you in your pursuit to stop worrying about what other people think. And if you have any more tips that you know help yourself and might help someone else, then feel free to leave them in the comment section below. Have a great day, guys, and I will talk to you all soon.